either everyone hates me or everyone loves me, and I cannot fathom anything in between. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Teresa Parker, and here I help premium content creators harness the entrepreneurial skills that they're learning right now in order to build a better future. But recently I revealed that I was going to be taking a step back from creating premium content, and now I'm just going to be doing more like productivity, lifestyle kind of stuff about things that I'm doing with my life, including getting a new job, like how I'm scheduling all of that, plus my modeling career, and you'll get to come along with me on that journey. So today I wanted to talk about how I've been able to make new friends as an adult. I mentioned in my video about what to do when you don't want to create premium content that I actually suffer from pretty bad seasonal depression. So around January and February, I was having a really hard time. I felt very isolated and alone, and I was actually lying in bed one Saturday morning watching one of Jill Guerin's videos. It was literally about like how to make friends as an adult, just like this video. And it was 10:30 in the morning. There's a bar next to my apartment that they sometimes host events. So I decided just to like look and see what events they had coming up, because that was one of the pieces of advice that she gave, was to go to events to meet new people. And they had something starting at 11 a.m. It was this like HIIT cardio dance class. The first thing I did, I didn't even finish watching the video. I just got up, I brushed my teeth, I changed clothes, I took my dog for a walk, and I headed over. And even though I didn't hang out with those ladies one-on-one, it was like a really good foundation to get me in a better mindset. So I broke this process down into 3 super simple steps. And the very first one has nothing to do with anyone else. First, ask yourself, what do I like to do? Don't worry about anybody else right now. Just like think about if you're more athletic and outdoorsy, or if you more are a homebody, or you like video games, or whatever you like to do. Just think about that, because I know when I was younger, not so much anymore, but when I was younger and I didn't have a very secure sense of self, I cared more about what the people around me were doing rather than what I genuinely enjoyed doing. So that's where I would start, but then kind of start to think about, well, what kind of friends do I want to have? Because when you're going to these events that are things that you enjoy doing, you should be able to meet people that have similar goals and motivations in life, and those are the kinds of people that you want to surround yourself with. I remember when I was living in Iowa and I was talking to my sister about creating content, and she told me that what she had noticed is that a lot of content creators are friends with other content creators. And at the time, that was really frustrating to hear, but as I've gotten older, I've realized that it really is true. Like, if that's something you want to do and you don't want to like bug your friends always asking them to take photos of you, it's easier just to be friends with people that also want you to take photos of them. And then finally, think about how you want your friends to make you feel. Because if we go back to the example of being an influencer, there are like a lot of fake people out there that just want to use you for clout, and maybe they don't have the best intentions for you. They don't deeply care for you as a person. And if that's something that's important to you, you need to reflect on that. Really think about what kind of friends you want to have and how they would make you feel. Just like I said in my video about manifestation, like the feeling is the secret. It's not so much just like scripting out what you want. It's knowing what kind of feelings you want. You're gonna know who the right people are in your life when you start feeling aligned with what you have already set intentions for. So for me, it's really important that my friends encourage me and make me feel accepted. So when I don't feel that way around somebody, I know, maybe not all the time, like obviously give somebody a little bit of slack if there's just like a lot going on in their life at a certain point in time. But at some point you need to set that boundary. Like, what are you willing to put up with and what aren't you willing to put up with? Like I said, in January and February, I had a really hard time dealing with my mental health. And during that time, I also was going through kind of a transitionary phase where I was drifting apart from the friends that I had here in Texas. I was friends with the same people from when I first moved here. I was 21 years old. You know, I had my OnlyFans and I was partying a lot. So the next step number 2, is to start pruning your friendships, which isn't to say that you can't be friends with anyone that you're still friends with, but honestly, take a look around you. Like I said, how do these people make you feel? Like, what are they doing with their lives? Is it in alignment with what you want to be doing? And if it's not, maybe now is the time to cut off some of those connections and allow space for new ones to grow. Because I know during that time, I was begging my friends to spend time with me. And then I would see them hanging out with other people and it would just crush me. And I would even try to talk to them about it. And they would just say, you know, we're sorry, we don't mean to make you feel that way. But I still did. And it was putting me in just this funk that was, I think, making it even harder for me to go make new friends because I didn't feel worthy. And that was because I was surrounding myself with people that weren't aligned with the intentions that I had set for myself, like the expectations that I had set for the kinds of friends that I wanted. And, you know, I hadn't really verbalized it to myself quite yet, but I just knew that there was something that was a little bit off. And I'm sure you have some friends that are still really great, and I still have friends from that time that I think are great. But as time has gone on, just like you would maybe your closet, sometimes you gotta get rid of some old stuff to make room for new stuff. And you can't really feel guilty about it as long as you aren't being like rude or any kind of mean-spirited cutting off of that connection. Like, I still don't think that you have to be mean about it. I think that sometimes people just grow apart and it's okay to say that. It's okay to just move on with your life. And step 3 is what I was getting into during the introduction, is just to do what you want to do. Like the video I mentioned earlier by Jill's Guerin, she talked about, like, you know, going to events and networking with people that enjoy doing the same things that you do. And I wanted to give a few examples of places where I have met the people I've been spending a lot of time with this spring and going into summer. And even though I know that it can be easy to like isolate yourself when you feel that way, when you're feeling isolated, when you're feeling lonely, when you're feeling sad, you feel like no one wants to hang out with you maybe, it's like easy just to let those voices in your head stop you from going out. But that's the exact opposite of what you want to do. And especially when you're around new people, I think a lot of people accidentally like get bogged down because they think that, well, if these people don't like me, then no one likes me. And I get stuck in that too, because I have this problem, like with my ADHD, called catastrophization, where everything is either 0 or 100. Either everyone hates me or everyone loves me, and I cannot fathom anything in between. I'm working on it, I promise, but as I am making this video, like, that is something that I struggle with, and I just want to be honest about it. You know, like I said, in January and February, I was going through this, and I just felt like I was so alone. Like, I didn't even know where to start. Like, I went to this dance class full of strangers, and they loved me. Like, maybe not straight away, but I ended up becoming a regular for that dance class. Surely that event was at the bar by my house, but they had like a studio where they met once a week. I was able to join into this community. It was very positive and uplifting. We would do affirmations during our workout and we would dance, and it was just such a positive environment for me to be around that even though I didn't hang out with these ladies one-on-one, I still felt that inspiration and courage to continue moving forward. I didn't feel that kind of like shyness of not being accepted anymore, and that gave me the courage to move forward and try to make friends elsewhere. And you know, I still had this core group of people to see every week, even when I was feeling down on myself. I mentioned different fitness classes that you can attend where you can meet other people. I had been going to yoga, and one of the instructors, she's around my age, and months ago, before I even moved back into the city, I was going to this studio because one of my friends worked there. And when we were talking about me moving back to Fort Worth, this girl, she was like, well, I need some friends to, like, when you move back, hit me up. And so finally I was at the studio and I saw her one day. I got her phone number and I got her Instagram, and then we ended up planning one day we went out for acai bowls after a class. And, you know, we got to bond over how we used to be competitive dancers, and she asked me a bunch about modeling, and it was just really nice because we were like connecting on a deeper level. And again, like I said, I have this like imposter syndrome that people don't really like me, but every single time I hang out with somebody, I feel like it really boosts my confidence. And I just felt happy that this woman who I look up to a lot, you know, she's talented, she's beautiful, she's a wonderful person. And I finally had the courage to put myself out there and be like, hey, let's plan something. You wanna go get coffee, smoothies, something? And she agreed, which obviously she had already told me that she was down, but it just takes it takes 5 seconds of courage to literally do anything. I think that whenever I'm posting something I think is a little cringy, I think that whenever I am like talking to somebody that I like, and in this situation, you know, maybe that wasn't a romantic relationship, but I feel like I almost get more intimidated by women than I do by men. Men are such simple-minded creatures that I hardly think twice about it. As long as I'm pretty, men like me, but it really takes a lot more intention to build those female friendships and find people that you deeply connect with. Because I don't know, this might be controversial. I don't think men have as deep of friendships. I feel as if, you know, they have people that they hang out with a lot, but they don't talk the way that women talk. And even though that was our first time hanging out, we got into some very deep subjects. And I just think that that kind of friendship is beautiful. The next place you can meet people is at work. I don't know, this might be controversial. It probably depends on your job. Me, I work at like different marketing agencies. So I was working the Taylor Swift concert, and you know, after the show, we were all kind of congregated waiting to exit the building. And I was talking to this girl, her name is Raina, and I found out she was going to Ubby Dubby, and I had bought a ticket because it was near where I lived and it had a really good lineup. So I really wanted to go, but I didn't have a group, and I ended up getting her number, and we ended up going together. And not only did we go to Ubby Dubby together, but we've also been hanging out outside of that. And I would say that that's who I've been hanging out with the most frequently this summer. And then from there, since we ended up going to Ubby Dubby together, I met some of her friends as well. You know, she invited one of her friends. I hosted our little pregame, postgame. She had a friend with her the first day. She brought another friend the second day. And then while we were there, we met some of her other friends who I've also met in other times that we've hung out. So just like reaching out to those connections that are maybe not people you're already friends with, but people that are friends of friends. Again, we were at a rave, so like I know that they all have similar interests to me. I also invited my friend Lourdes' friend, Eric, and he came to the pregame. He brought his girlfriend and one of her friends, and now we have like a brand new amalgamation of a rave fam, which is such a relief to me because like I said, some of my friends and I, the friends that I usually go to raves with, we're like not as close as we once were. So that was something that I was really sad about. Like that's something I enjoy doing, and I felt as if I didn't have people to do it with anymore. And it was so fabulous. Just the universe put Raina in my life at such a perfect time. And then I got to meet all of these other people. So that was really nice as well. And last but certainly not least, the place I've actually met the most people lately is at fashion shows. And I know that media tries to make it seem as if models are like not very nice or whatever. And I talked about this in a couple previous videos, but a lot of my model friends are like some of the friendliest people that I have met. Like, and I've mentioned that before, you know, it could just be because I'm also a model. So like, I don't know what other people's experiences are with that, but I really think a lot of the times this stereotype is based on like depictions that we see in the media, especially like I love Sex and the City, but the way that they talk about models is just like we're dumb and have like no personality and like head empty, no thoughts, just looking pretty, whatever. But that's where I've met some of the people that I've been hanging out with the most. Like my friend Natalie, I actually think we're gonna hang out. She was in Fort Worth Fashion Week. My friend Bree, she was at Fort Worth and Dallas Fashion Week. My friend Nina, she was at Dallas Fashion Week. And not only models, but like one of the stylists, Cecilia, and I were planning like a trip to the driving range because she wants to learn how to golf and I'm gonna help her out. And then like one of the attendees, her name is Sierra, like we went to lunch together recently and we've been, you know, keeping up through social media. So that's just kind of like, if you think about like these things that you already like to do, just do it. Like that's even kind of one of the things. I wasn't meaning to meet new friends when I signed up for Fort Worth Fashion Week, but I was trying to put myself out there and I ended up meeting a lot of people. So it was a lot of fun, and I think that that's something you can do. Like if you've been following me for a while, you know that those are the things I like to do. Like I like my little group fitness classes or like just being active. Oh, that's another thing I've done. I started going on these monthly nature hikes. And so there's just so many ways that you can meet new people. You can meet people at work, concerts, fashion shows. But just think about the things that you like to do, put yourself out there, and with the right intentions, I think that the universe will send the right people to you at the right time. Summer is the perfect time to get to know people because, you know, sometimes during like the fall and winter, it's too cold, you don't want to leave your house, and you end up like just hanging out at one of your apartments or place wherever you live. Because I know that that's happened to me a few times. Like I met somebody through Twitter or something, and then we decide to hang out and we're just like awkwardly watching Netflix, like sitting on my couch with nothing to talk about really. So I really like the summer because there are so many events going on. There's always something going on. So it's not so awkward. Like you get to go out and have fun and get to know people and just like enjoy their vibe without it getting too deep, you know? Start surface level and go deeper and deeper as you develop that friendship. So I've been feeling very fortunate lately that I've been able to connect with so many great people lately. I genuinely think like absolutely no hard feelings to the people I was talking about before that like I'm not really close with anymore, but I wouldn't have been able to make these new friendships if I were still pining for the old ones. So it was a blessing in disguise, I think, because it really pushed me out of my comfort zone and challenged me to try new things. Not even try new things, but try things I was already doing, just like with new people. So comment down below where you're gonna try to meet new friends this summer. If this helped you, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. And if you want more videos like this, you want to hear more about my life, make sure you hit the red subscribe button down below. And I will be back with a new video as soon as I come up with the next one. Honestly, since I'm not making OnlyFans content anymore, I haven't really had as many ideas. So if you have any videos that you want to see, just shoot me a DM or comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.